Ever since I was like little, really. I mean, I grew up here in Willimantic playing just like for all the town teams for the Columbia Wyndham Soccer Alliance and then Wham Soccer when we moved. We played all the sports, like played baseball and basketball growing up too. And then I think around when I was probably like 11, 12 years old, I started playing for Northeast United, which is like a club team around here. Then from there, kind of just took off, and then start with Northeast United, and then when I got to high school, I think was when I really like got into it and started putting like more time and effort into it and making it more of a priority. So high school was the biggest time, but really I think like 4 years old probably is when I started playing. It's hard to put into words if I'm being honest. I mean, me, Will, and we have two other siblings, my brother Ryan, my baby sister Elizabeth, and the four of us just throughout our life, that's like my closest bond is with all of them. And when I was 4 starting out, he was 2 and wasn't even old enough to start playing yet, but they threw him out there and let him run around, and then it's always kind of been that way. He started playing for the same club around the same time I did. Played in middle school, obviously high school. We got to play those 2 years together, and that was a big moment because once I finished my high school career, we really weren't sure if we were ever gonna play with each other like that again because it was just too early to tell. So I remember that being like a real emotional moment, being with him after my last high school game. He was going through the recruiting process, and once we found out that he was going to come here too, that kind of was just a big moment, kind of helped like get me back on track with things, get fired up again. So since then, just see him, he's such a great competitor, does so much, and it's just that kind of person that does so much to help a team. So for me to be able to play with him, and for our parents and grandparents, especially my mom, I know means a lot to her getting to see us out there together. So it has been a cool experience. I mean, I credit so much to E.O. Smith Soccer. I mean, it's the history that program has in this state. Like, it goes a long way with us that have been a part of it, and just it helped me grow up a lot, being around those people and the school as a whole. I'm still really close with a lot of teammates and my coaches and like our principal, teachers. It's a little funny, I think about it sometimes, but it was really similar to my time here, whereas so my first 2 years playing at E.O. Smith, we didn't have a ton of team success. Like between my freshman year and sophomore year, it did gradually improve a little bit, but it still wasn't great. And then my second 2 years, junior and senior year at EO, those were our two like most successful seasons. At least when I was there, they hit even other levels after that with some of those guys. Being a part of that community was big. It also really that's when like my work ethic got like instilled in me, and so now I'm not really sure what to do anymore because there's no team or games to train for, but definitely I got a lot of love for the people at EO. He just had his last season now, and while me and Will's younger brother Rye got to play for him, so I'm glad that they both got that experience too because he's really a great coach. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure for the longest time about if I wanted to try to play soccer in college or not. Like, it's not one of those things that my entire life was the goal I was striving for. It wasn't until probably around like the end of my sophomore year, junior year, around that time where talking to Coach Blomstrand and talking to some of my club coaches about like the possibility of me playing in college, that I really started to take it seriously. But this was like the one school that I was like actively recruited by. We had a couple of the assistant coaches at the time worked at EO. I remember like the first day that Coach Stensland like came and grabbed me in the hallway one day and asked if I was interested and wanted to look into coming to like a showcase clinic here at Eastern. And like I said, Coach DeVito and Coach Blomstrand have such a good relationship, and Coach DeVito worked at E.O. Smith, so he has a strong relationship with a lot of the people there, and so they would different teachers or whoever would come up to me and tell things they heard. And really I came and did a couple visits here. I got to know some of the guys, and it just felt like a great fit right away. Me and Nick Starkowski did an overnight trip together, and that was pretty much from there. Like, we just knew this is where we both wanted to end up. Well, I think it's one of those things where like I just kind of had to accept it. I mean, it was, if I'm being real, it was the right choice. We had a kid that was with a team that transferred back, and it was just the reality. And it was something that I hadn't really dealt with before, like maybe in other sports, but it was my first time like being on a soccer team and not being a starter. And so I just wanted to, do the right thing for the group. And I think that's part of playing a team sport is being able to accept your role. And just, throughout my time in high school and in college, there have been so many other great guys that don't see a lot of action or aren't in the starting lineup, and you wouldn't know it. It doesn't change their attitude. It doesn't change how hard they work. It doesn't change how they feel about the team. So I really just wanted to do what those guys have done for all those years and just be that person, not let my effort change or my commitment to the team change due to how many minutes I was getting to play. I think just being able to be a part of this group, the last 4 years, but especially, these last 2 years has been an honor. I've had a lot of great leaders before me, guys like J.D. Stearns, like Manny Caicedo, other guys too. I know I'm leaving out a lot of names, but just, this past 2 years, this group and the guys that we've had and just the attitude of everybody of what, they knew what they wanted to accomplish. They knew what they had to get done. It was never a case where me or Justin were really having to beg anybody to do the right thing. It's just such a great group of 30-something guys, and so to be a part of that and to see all that hard work that everybody put in and all that dedication translate to some wins and some success. I think in the future they even have higher levels they're gonna hit, and I'm excited to just be a fan now. And it's really meant a lot. Not all, but the majority of my close friendships and relationships have come from in one way or another have come through soccer. I think it's taught me a lot about things that I can take now that I'm done playing, things about discipline and working hard and just being able to work with a team, with a group of people. So credit to that. I think a lot of even internships I've gotten or the job I'm working at also kind of comes through the connections I've made. And now I have a lot of people in my corner that I can rely on and look back on that if I hadn't played soccer, I don't think I would have gotten. It's been fun, I love the game. I think, it's definitely my favorite sport to play, a way to stay active. So soccer, it's been a big part of my life. I may even have a different understanding than other people because I grew up so close around here. So, through my life and through my time in high school, I'd seen other Eastern athletes and I know people that still live in this community around here that back in their time were athletes here too. And it's really just being a part of that community has meant so much to me, not just athletics, but this school in general. I'm graduating right now, and I just, loved all the people that I've met. You get so familiar with people in a smaller campus like this that those relationships form even stronger. And everyone, especially these last couple of years, has been super supportive of each other. I still think our semifinal game this year against WestCon, where it's 6 o'clock at night and just freezing cold, wind blowing, and you see people from all the other teams and around this school community are still going to come out and cheer for us and support us. That there kind of just sums up what it's like being a part of this community. It's being a part of that group and seeing what all these guys have done is been a great experience.